Linda is 67 years old and lives in a quiet neighborhood just outside Tampa, Florida. She is the kind of grandmother most children dream about: warm, lively, always smelling of cinnamon and rosemary. She keeps her garden tidy, her kitchen full of baked goods, and her heart wide open for her family. To her, nothing beats the sound of her granddaughter's footsteps running through the hallway, or the tight little hugs that melt the weight of age from her shoulders. But something shifted one weekend afternoon. Linda had just baked a fresh batch of oatmeal cookies. The sun was coming in through the kitchen window, and the house smelled like vanilla. Her granddaughter, 7 years old, came over and sat at the far end of the couch, farther than usual. Linda noticed. She always noticed. "Come sit next to me." "Sweetie," she said, patting the cushion beside her. The little girl hesitated, then said it innocently, without a hint of cruelty. "Grandma, you smell like my closet at home, the one where we keep old stuff." It hit Linda like a quiet slap, the kind that does not sting right away, but lingers. She smiled, of course, laughed it off like any loving grandmother would. But later that night, standing alone in her bathroom, something inside her cracked a little. She sniffed her sweater. She opened her linen closet and took in the scent of her towels. And for the first time in her life, she asked herself a question she had never thought to ask before. Do I have an old person smell? The thought rattled her. Linda had always prided herself on being clean, meticulous, even. She brushed her teeth twice a day, kept her home spotless, washed her sheets every week. But this was something different. It was not about dirt. It was about time. The slow, silent layering of habits that no longer served her. The way towels held moisture longer now. The clothes she wore out of comfort, not freshness. The familiar routines that had not been updated in years. And the truth is, this can happen to anyone. Not because we stop caring, but because we stop noticing. Linda did not sleep well that night, not because she was offended, but because she felt a gap growing between her and the people she loved. She missed the way her granddaughter used to jump into her lap without hesitation, and she realized something needed to change, not just for others, but for herself. This is not a story about shame. It is a story about awareness and choice. In this video, we are going to follow Linda's quiet but powerful journey to understanding what causes old people smell, and more importantly, how she reversed it step by step. From the hidden habits that sneak into our routines to the simple changes that brought her confidence, warmth, and closeness back. And trust me, what Linda discovered will surprise you, because it is not about buying expensive perfumes or scrubbing harder. It is about understanding how your body, your environment, and even your emotions change with time, and how to care for them wisely. If any of this feels familiar, if you have ever noticed someone pull away, or felt unsure about how others perceive you, stay with us. Because this story is not just about Linda. It could be about you, or someone you love. And if it is time to feel close again, to hold your loved ones without hesitation, then you are in the right place. Scroll down, and in the comments, tell us Have you ever had a moment like Linda's? One sentence is enough. This is a space for honesty and for growing better, not just older. Right after that awkward comment from her granddaughter, Linda did not just feel hurt. She felt curious. What exactly had changed? She still bathed, still did laundry, still kept her house clean, but something was clearly off. That is when she decided to look deeper. This part of her journey was not about blaming herself. It was about understanding, because, as she soon discovered, there were 8 small habits, things she thought were harmless that had quietly turned into odor traps. This is what she found. 1. Wearing the same cardigan for days. Linda had a soft gray cardigan she loved, easy to throw on, matched with everything. She wore it 3 days in a row and figured it was still clean enough. After all, she had not spilled anything on it. But one day, while folding laundry, she noticed the cardigan smelled not fresh, not exactly bad, just musty, like a mix of skin oils and something damp. That is when she learned clothes can hold on to bacteria and moisture, especially around the armpits, collar, and underarms, even if they look clean. According to the Mayo Clinic, even low-activity sweat combined with skin bacteria can cling to fabrics, especially those worn multiple days. Now, Linda makes a habit of rotating her outer layers every day, and not just the clothes people can see. 2. Avoiding hair washing during cold weather. Like many seniors, Linda grew cautious in the winter. She skipped hair washing to avoid catching a cold, but after a few days, she noticed a faint sour smell starting from her scalp and traveling down to the collar of her shirt. She realized your scalp produces oils. Even if you are not moving around much, those oils can combine with sweat and create odor. And if your hair is touching your collar, it transfers that smell onto your clothes too. Dermatologists recommend washing hair at least once or twice a week. After 70, adjusting based on hair type, but never ignoring it altogether. Now, Linda uses a mild shampoo and a warm towel dry. No more skipping. 3. Not using deodorant because I stay home. Since she was mostly at home these days, Linda figured deodorant was optional. Why bother if no one else is around? But odor does not care about location. The body produces sweat in response to body temperature, not social plans. She started to notice a faint smell every time she reached for something or bent down. She switched to a gentle, aluminum-free deodorant and now uses it every morning, no matter what. Because feeling fresh is not for other people, it is for her too. 4. Drinking tea all day, skipping water. Linda loved her tea, chamomile, peppermint, even a little black tea with lemon in the afternoon, but plain water. She rarely drank it. Soon, her breath began to feel dry and stale. She was also sweating more at night. Her doctor told her dehydration can cause bad breath and body odor because the body is not flushing toxins properly. Tea, while hydrating, can act as a diuretic, especially black or green tea. She started adding a glass of plain water between every cup of tea. Her breath improved. Her skin felt better. A small change with a big impact. 5. Skipping foot care. Linda assumed her feet stayed clean since she wore socks and slippers inside the house. But when she bent down to pick up her shoes one day, she caught a strong whiff. Feet sweat. They have more sweat glands per inch than any other part of the body. And if they are not cleaned regularly, including between the toes and under the nails, that moisture builds up. Now, Linda scrubs her feet gently in the shower, dries them completely, and lets her shoes air out. No more guessing where that funk is coming from. 6. Only rinsing her dentures. For years, Linda's nighttime routine involved taking out her dental appliance and giving it a quick rinse. It looked clean, so she figured it was fine. But lately, her breath had a strange odor she could not explain even after brushing. Her dentist explained that bacteria cling to dentures the same way they do to teeth, and a simple rinse does not remove them. Now, she soaks her dentures in a cleaning solution every night and brushes them just like natural teeth. That sour smell gone. 7. Using heavy perfume to cover up smells. After realizing she might have some lingering body odor, Linda began spraying herself with more perfume, especially before family visits. But strong perfume over body odor does not cancel it out. It mixes, and not in a good way. Her daughter gently mentioned one day that her perfume was a little strong. Linda learned that subtle, clean-smelling products or unscented hygiene steps work better than masking odor with fragrance. Now, she focuses on staying clean first, then adds a light spritz of something fresh, never overwhelming. 8. Forgetting the skin folds. It never occurred to Linda to pay special attention to under her breasts, between skin folds, or the inner thigh area. She washed like she always had. But one afternoon, she felt a sticky sensation under her bra line and a faint sour smell. These areas can trap sweat and create the perfect environment for bacteria and yeast. Her doctor told her to gently cleanse and completely dry those areas every day. She even started using a thin layer of cornstarch-based powder to stay dry. It made a big difference. No more discomfort. No more odor. By the end of that week, Linda had not just changed her habits, she had changed how she saw herself. What surprised her most was how subtle the causes were, and how easily they could be fixed once she noticed them. She had not become unclean. She had simply stopped updating habits that used to work, but no longer did with age. Each step made her feel more confident. The next time her granddaughter visited, she climbed into Linda's lap without hesitation. Linda smiled, not because she had something to prove, but because she had reclaimed something deeply personal: her presence, her self-respect, and her hug. This is the part where everything turns. After realizing what had changed, Linda did not wait for someone to fix it for her. She started what she later called her rescue plan. No doctors, no prescriptions, just her and a decision. She called it changing one habit at a time, and every small step made a difference. One quiet morning, Linda stood in front of her bathroom mirror. The air still smelled like lavender from her soap. She stared at herself, not out of shame, but out of curiosity. Then she took a small piece of paper and wrote a note in big, simple letters. It is not old person smell. It is the smell of old habits. She stuck it right on the mirror. That note became her quiet little nudge, her reminder that this was not about age, it was about patterns. So she made a promise each day. She would change one thing. Nothing dramatic, just something small. Day 1. She threw her cardigan into the wash and chose a fresh top. The difference was immediate. Her skin felt cleaner, just wearing something new. Day 2. She washed her hair and dried it carefully with a towel warmed in the dryer. Her scalp felt lighter. Her collar no longer carried that stale smell. By the end of the week, she was gently scrubbing her feet each night and drying between her toes like a ritual. It seemed small, almost silly, but she noticed the difference in her slippers. She also started drinking more plain water. For every cup of tea, she poured herself a glass of water. Her breath improved. Her skin looked better. And slowly, she felt more awake in the mornings. Then came the denture care. No more rinsing and calling it done. She brushed her dental appliance, soaked it properly, and used a tongue scraper. Within a few days, the strange odor in her breath was gone. She gave up the heavy perfumes. Instead, she focused on gentle, scent-free body washes and light clothing. If she used any fragrance, it was just a small dab of something fresh on clean skin, never to cover something, just to complement it. And finally, she paid attention to her skin folds under the chest, around the inner thighs, underarms, a soft cloth, a clean towel, and a little patience. That simple step removed a source of odor she had never even noticed before. After 3 weeks, Linda no longer needed the mirror note. She could feel the difference. Her confidence was back, and so were the hugs. Her granddaughter curled right into her lap again. No hesitation. Her husband, quiet, observant, sat next to her one evening and said, "You smell like you again." But what mattered most, Linda smiled more. She felt light, clean, present. She had peeled back years of habits and found herself again. If this story speaks to you, do not keep it to yourself. Follow this channel. Leave a comment. Type 1. If you are ready to try one small change, type 0 if you are still thinking about it. Either way, you are not alone. Because sometimes, freshness is not about age. It is about waking up one day and deciding to begin again. After 3 weeks of changes, Linda felt like herself again, clean, confident, and comfortable in her skin. But what made the biggest difference was not just the effort, it was having a simple system to follow. A checklist. Something clear she could stick to without overthinking. So, she created a set of 8 personal rules. Straightforward. No confusion. These became her go-to guide for staying fresh and odor-free, not just for others, but for her own well-being. If you are ready to take back your freshness, here is the exact checklist Linda followed. Print it out. Stick it on your bathroom mirror. Make it your own. Rule 1. Clean clothes only. Do not rewear. After 2 days. Even if a shirt looks clean, do not trust it past 2 wears. Fabric traps sweat and skin oils, especially in areas like underarms and the back of the neck. After 48 hours, even low activity builds up odor you may not smell, but others can. Change your top daily if possible. Rotate cardigans or jackets every other day. Clean layers mean clean skin. Rule 2. Dry skin is fresh skin. Pay attention to the folds. After every shower or sponge bath, gently dry the hidden spots under the breasts, behind the knees, between the thighs, under the belly. Moisture builds up in these areas and becomes a silent trap for bacteria and odor. A soft towel and 2 extra minutes can make all the difference. If needed, use a cornstarch-based powder for comfort. Rule 3. Happy feet. Wash, scrub, and change socks. Daily feet are full of sweat glands, even indoors. They produce moisture that soaks into socks and shoes. Wash your feet daily. Gently exfoliate dead skin once or twice a week. Dry thoroughly, especially between the toes. Fresh, clean socks every morning. Let shoes breathe overnight. Rule 4. Denture care. Soak and brush every evening. Do not just rinse. Bacteria hides in the tiny pores of dentures and causes bad breath. Each night, brush your dental appliance with a soft brush and soak it in an approved solution. Brush your tongue and gums too. This one step can completely change how your breath smells without mints or mouthwash. Rule 5. Skip the strong perfume. Go clean first. Scent later. Heavy perfume on unwashed skin does not hide odor, it mixes with it. That is why it smells stronger to others. Focus on staying clean first. If you want fragrance, choose something soft and fresh. Apply lightly after a shower, never to cover up. Rule 6. Use deodorant daily, even at home. Sweat happens whether you are out shopping or just folding laundry. A quick swipe of deodorant in the morning keeps underarm bacteria under control all day long. Choose a gentle formula if your skin is sensitive, but do not skip it just because you are staying in. Rule 7. Wash your hair. Times a week. Always dry. Well, your scalp produces oils even when you are not active. After 3 to 4 days, those oils can start to smell and cling to your collar or pillowcase. Wash your hair once or twice a week, depending on your hair type. Always dry it fully, especially in cooler weather, to prevent musty scalp odor. Rule 8. Stay hydrated. 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Your body needs water to flush out toxins. When you do not drink enough, your breath, sweat, and even your skin can take on a sour or stale smell. Tea and coffee do not count. Make plain water part of your routine. 1 glass with every meal is a great place to start. These 8 rules are not about perfection. They are about feeling fresh, proud, and present. Linda did not change overnight, but she stayed consistent. That is what made the difference. This is the part where we step back and reflect. This is not just the end of Linda's story. It is the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter built on small decisions, quiet courage, and self-respect. 3 weeks after that quiet moment in front of the mirror, Linda stood at her kitchen counter, slicing apples for her granddaughter's snack. The sunlight poured in through the window. Her sweater was fresh. Her hair smelled of mild chamomile shampoo. She felt light, not just clean, but renewed. And that is when it hit her. I am no longer the grandma with that old smell. She thought, I am Grandma Linda, fresh, clean, and confident again. She smiled to herself, not because she had done something big, but because she had done something important. She had chosen to care for herself with intention, not out of vanity, not for praise, but because she finally realized freshness is a form of self-respect. Linda's story is not unusual. It is just rarely talked about. Too many older women go years without knowing what changed, or worse, thinking they are the problem, but they are not. What changed is the body. What needs to change is how we care for it. Let us be clear. The smell of aging is not something you are doomed to live with. It is not your fate. It is a signal, a gentle reminder from your body saying, please take better care of me, not through harsh chemicals or expensive sprays, but through everyday care, through changing that one habit, through drinking more water, washing that cardigan, drying between the folds. These little things, they build up. And over time, they change everything. Linda did not become someone new. She became more of herself. So, if you are watching this and thinking, this might be me, you are not alone and you are not stuck. Today can be your first step. Share this video with someone you love, a mother, an aunt, a friend, or even yourself. You never know who needs to hear this quietly important truth. And in the comments, tell us what is one habit you are ready to change. Maybe it is switching your deodorant. Maybe it is cleaning your dentures more carefully. Or maybe it is just drinking that extra glass of water. Whatever it is, write it down. That is where all change begins. And do not forget to follow this channel. Every week, we bring simple, honest advice for people who want to age with strength, self-awareness, and dignity. Because no matter how old you are, you still deserve to feel good, be hugged close, and walk into a room with your head held high. You deserve to feel fresh. And just like Linda, you can